Let's understand stubs in a nutshell. By definition, a stub is a simplified replacement for a piece of code that your application relies on. It's brought into use while testing, which allows you to control its behavior and ensure better results while testing the components. Understanding it with an example will be easier. Say you are building an e-commerce application which has the following components: a user component, a cart component, a seller component, and there can be more. Each of these components will have a set of dependencies, such as the user component depends on a user authentication service, the cart component depends on a payment gateway, and the seller component depends on seller verification. Now, let's say you want to test the cart component in isolation without worrying about the payment gateway working perfectly fine every time. You only want to focus on testing the cart itself. This is where stubs come into play. In order to achieve isolation from the actual dependency, we replace it using a stub. The stub will be written in such a way that every time a request is sent to it, a programmed hard-coded value is returned. And as mentioned in the definition about controlling the behavior of a stub, that's what it meant. We may program it to always return a success response to test how the card behaves on receiving a payment success response, and the same way can be carried with the payment failure response also. Stubs are also useful when you have missing dependencies or services that are not ready to be used yet. Let's say you want to run integration tests on your application, but the payment gateway is still under development and not available. Instead of waiting for the payment gateway, you can use a stub as a temporary replacement. The stub always allow you to test how the different components integrate with each other and determine if they're working perfectly fine.